Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This week we're going to be making butternut squash soup. The weather's getting colder and I feel like it's time to start bringing out the autumn recipes. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. We will be making our own chicken stock from scratch. That's what's going to make this soup just that much better. And we're going to be roasting the butternut squash with a bunch of herbs and other stuff. We're going to make a pesto to go on top, and we're going to put some creme fraiche in it. So let's get straight into the recipe and show you how to make all of that from scratch. Let's go. Let's start off by making our chicken stock. Into a large heavy bottom stock pot, you want to place 1 kilogram of chicken wings, and then we're going to prepare some aromats for that. So you want to chop up 2 bulbs of garlic, slice roughly 5 large carrots, and then you want to quarter 2 large white onions. Once that is all chopped up, let's turn our attention back to the chicken wings. They should now be starting to look a little bit roasted and got a nice golden colour on them. So we're going to go in with all of our cut vegetables, and then we're going to cook this out for a further kind of 10 to 12 minutes. What we wanted to see here is a nice caramelisation on the vegetables. Once that is all looking nice and caramelised, we're going to go in with another 1 kilogram of chicken wings, followed up with 15 grams of fresh thyme and 15 grams of fresh rosemary. We're then going to cover this with water, and we're going to bring this up to a gentle simmer. Once simmering, we're going to get a ladle and scoop off any of the foamy, gunky looking stuff from the top, and once you've done that, you can cover this with a lid, and we're just going to let this cook out for 2 to 3 hours. Which is going to give us plenty of time to prepare the butternut squash. So you want to take 3 butternut squash and you want to top and tail them bad boys. After that, we're going to then peel them. When you're peeling them, you're going to kind of peel it once and you'll see a kind of white layer, and then you're just going to keep peeling until you get that nice kind of orangey butternut squashy colour in there, just like you're seeing right here in the video. So you want to peel all 3 of your butternut squash. After that, you're going to cut them down lengthways, and then we're going to scrape out the seeds. The easiest way to do this is with a spoon. It only takes a couple of seconds. Discard the seeds afterwards. Then we're going to cut these into cubes. The easiest way to do this is cut it lengthways, turn it around, and then cut along the length so you get kind of 1 inch by 1 inch cubes. Throw that all onto a baking tray that's been lined with some greaseproof paper, and then you also want to go on there with 2 large onions that's been diced up to roughly the same size, 15 grams of fresh thyme and fresh rosemary, just the leaves and not the stalks, 1 bulb of garlic that has been cut in half, a glug of olive oil, a nice big pinch of flaky salt or just fine sea salt, it doesn't have to be flaky salt, a nice few cracks of black pepper, you want it nice and fresh out of the pepper mill, and then you're going to give this all a nice mix together so everything is fully incorporated, everything is evenly distributed, and then you're going to throw that into an oven that's set to 180 degrees for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, or until everything is nice and caramelised and looking delicious and is all cooked through. This step is super important. Make sure you get the garlic and squeeze it out. That in there is just pure, delicious, roasted, garlicky flavour. Time to get to blending our soup. You want to half fill your blender with the butternut squash mix, and then you're going to cover this with stock until it's about 1 inch from the top of the butternut squash. Now's a good time to mention you can make this stock in advance. You could use a vegetable stock, a beef stock, it doesn't have to be a chicken stock, whatever floats your boat. After that, we are going to blend this up for about maybe 1 to 2 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Just, you want to get this super smooth really. And then the next step is kind of important but not necessary. You want to pass this through a sieve. This helps just get the soup super silky smooth. It really does add just that extra little touch. Not necessary, but makes a big difference. Your soup's ready. Serve it up, you're good to go. But if you want to make a pesto to go on top of this, hang around. This is a super quick, easy recipe. Into a food processor, you want to put 90 grams of basil, stalks and all, 100 grams of parmesan, 100 grams of pine nuts, and then you want to give that all a pulse in the food processor. Once that is all starting to come together, we're going to stream in 150 grams of olive oil, just slowly as the food processor is going. Remember, you forgot to put in 4 cloves of garlic, so just throw them in. Blend it up a little bit more until you have a nice smooth pesto-y consistency. Pop that into a bowl, season it up with salt and pepper and a nice squeeze of lemon juice. It is now time to plate up our butternut squash soup. Put a teaspoon of creme fraiche into the middle of your soup and then drizzle that pesto around, and then you are ready to enjoy a beautiful, warming, comforting bowl of butternut squash soup. And there you have it, butternut squash soup with homemade pesto and some creme fraiche just for added freshness, I guess. It's something we used to do at a restaurant I worked in, and it's just really delicious in kind of like a majority of soups. A bit of pesto, a bit of creme fraiche, mix it all up in there. Everything gets nicely combined, and in we go. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. The butternut squash soup, you can taste the chicken stock in there, all those herbs, garlic, the carrot, the onion, roasting off the butternut squash is giving it a really nice kind of sweet flavour. All the natural sugars come out, and as it's cooking they caramelise and you get that really nice flavour. The roasted garlic in there. The creme fraiche is adding a bit of freshness and a bit of richness to it. And then the pesto is giving a cheesy, from the parmesan, cheesy kick. A fresh garlicky kick because there's raw garlic in there, and the basil is just kind of elevating it and lifting the whole dish. I love soups, especially in the autumn. Quick and easy to make. Delicious, healthy, packed with goodness. And something like this, you can freeze down portions and just get them out whenever. Wow. It's kind of a basic recipe of how to make it. That same kind of context of how to make a butternut squash soup can be applied to other vegetables and other things. Maybe I'll cover a video on a more broad kind of recipe for that kind of stuff in the future. I hope you have enjoyed this week's episode. If you have, don't forget to drop a like, comment what you want me to make in the future, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. I'll see you guys around.
Bye-bye.